Like and subscribe right now, or this will be in your bed tonight. Hello and welcome back to ProRevenge. Before we start, please scroll down and click like and subscribe. This means that you will get more videos from me. Please like and subscribe with notifications on, and it will really make my day. Thanks. Steal money from me, have fun in prison, obligatory mobile, and grammar warning. I don't like to spare detail, so this is going to be a long one. So I brought up this story to my friend in conversation yesterday and reminded myself I could also tell it here, being I wasn't on Reddit when this occurred. So shortly after graduating high school, I began working for a company who manufactured power tools in one of their distribution centers. They paid me well, so I decided to finally move out with a guy I had considered a friend. We had known each other since 4th grade. I had plenty of money saved from the jobs I worked through high school, so my savings account was already well off once I got this job. We found a small 2-room apartment for about $1,100 a month or close to that. Now my friend was never the brightest guy, and he could never hold down a job. Instead he sold drugs for his main income. I never had a problem with it. The only rule is that he didn't bring his customers to the house, not even for a social visit. He obliged. Now for the first 3 months everything seemed to be okay. We paid the rent on time. I did my best to keep the house clean while going to work every day. He on the other hand laid around the house all day playing Xbox. By the 5th month we were living there, I was starting to see the nasty habits he had. Not cleaning his dishes, not taking out the trash, leaving his dirty laundry all over the floor. I wouldn't clean the apartment for a week and the end result with the place would be absolutely disgusting. I was starting to think maybe him being my roommate wasn't the best idea, but he still paid his portion of the rent/utilities on time, so it kept me from kicking him out. My name was on the lease, so I had the right. Fast forward to about 8 months living there, and I was basically fed up with him. His habits had only gotten worse. He started bringing his customers to the house. We would constantly get into money arguments, cause for about a month he was hitting me up for cash when I knew for a fact he was making sales. So fact about me, I like to keep a good chunk of my money in cash. I had taken $8,000 out of my bank account, being I was going to buy a second car as a project car. I kept the $8K in my hiding spot in my room until I could meet up with this guy. Being I was an ignorant 18-year-old at the time, I never really understood the risk of keeping that much money in one spot until this. The day I came home from work, I was supposed to meet with the owner of the vehicle I was going to buy. I checked my hiding spot to only find my $8K was gone. I had frantically tried to find it until it clicked. My roommate had stolen it, and I had zero doubt. I was beyond furious, and only reason I didn't kill him was for the fact I didn't want to spend time in a jail cell. So I took the next best route and decided to get revenge. I was sick and tired of him living there, but didn't want to just kick him out. I wanted to make sure I eviscerated him. Now backtrack. I was sick and tired of him starting to do deals in the house, so I told him to move his stash to his car and out of the house before I kicked him out a couple days prior, so I knew exactly where all of his drugs were. Again, he wasn't the brightest. He had gone off to make a drug deal at a mutual friend's house, so someone may or may not have left an anonymous tip about a drug deal going on a certain house. Next thing you knew, cops were at my doorstep questioning me about my roommate. They searched the place and found nothing. The end result was the cops busting everyone in that house. They found a metric fuck ton of cocaine in my roommate's car, and to this day he is still sitting in prison. I get that I'll never get the $8,000 back, but now you'll know, don't fuck with my money. TL. Doctor, roommate stole $8,000 from me. Ended up getting him locked up on drug charges. Revenge to the tune of $50,000 plus on owner who wrongfully fired me. This is a lengthy story that happened to me. Around 6 years ago, I applied for a job as a bar manager at a new restaurant bar that opened up in my area, Ontario, Canada. The owner of this bar had some issues with her liquor license being revoked at a previous establishment, and there was some sort of stipulation, this part I'm not clear on, where she was required to not be on site or involved in the business in any capacity for any reason. She was a prohibited person, and I believe she made her husband the owner on paper, but for this story, she is referred to as the owner. Hire a manager with 5+ years experience and a smart serve certificate to run and be responsible for the bar. in order to get another liquor license. After a short interview process, I was offered the job and was told of these terms. I accepted them despite the already apparent red flags. I was a very poor student. When the restaurant/bar opened, everything quickly fell apart. Despite the owner not being allowed to be on premises, she proceeded to micromanage both the kitchen and front of house. She stopped scheduling kitchen staff to save money and was working in the kitchen herself. Food quality plummeted. Customers became irate at how long of a wait it was, and word spread quickly in the small town. Eventually, a select few regulars became our only customers. More hours got cut. Waitresses and kitchen staff were let go. The owner was now drinking at the bar, and at the same time, was waitressing and cooking. This was all in the matter of a month. One night that month, it was exceptionally nice out, and we had a lot of boaters in the area. We had a pier near the bar, where boats could dock and walk into the restaurant. A large group had walked in on this night, and they were both very clearly underage and very clearly over intoxicated. I immediately cut them off, to which they made a very large stink about it, enough that the owner's husband came over to ask what happened. I explained that I had cut the group off and wasn't going to serve them, to which the owner's husband decided to take their drink orders and serve them anyways. Obviously money was tight, so they didn't care about the rules. The next day, the owner pulled me into the office and accused me of stealing $50 out of the till the night previous. I knew this to be a lie that could be easily disproven because there is a camera located directly above the till that is synced to the time code on the pose. I was fired on the spot. I 100% believed this was because I was refusing to serve customers and thereby damaging their bottom line. I was really miffed to be accused of doing something I didn't do, and more upset that she used this lie she made up as an excuse to fire me. Because the stipulation of her having her liquor license was me working at the bar as manager, I emailed the liquor control board when I got home and informed them of the rules being broken at the bar. A liquor inspector came to meet me later that week and took a statement. He then paid a surprise visit to the bar and was able to witness all of the things that I informed him, including the owner both being on site and being involved in the business, serving minors, and serving intoxicated persons. The liquor inspector slapped them with a very large fine, north of $50,000. Their liquor license was suspended, and the owner was too broke to pay the fine and was forced to close the restaurant. I received death threats from her for a while after that, but the revenge was absolutely worth it. Better be able to do what you say not to me, but my brother was the one to enact this revenge. He works on the assembly line of a well-known company. Soon learns that a lot of employees were either transferred or quit from this position over the year. He would soon learn it was because of a fellow worker stationed with him. Let's call him Richard. Richard has been working in this position for over 20 years. Was, apparently, a high school dropout, and this was the only work he managed to find. As the years went on, people who worked with Richard seems to get promoted to more difficult tasks that required further education in the field, and it seemed Richard was not liking that at all. Richard began making life difficult for those who had to work at the same station as him, even going too far to take credit for their work and shifting the blame of his faulty products to them, since he had been there for so many years and knows what he is doing. Then along comes my brother. He had a basic grasp of what the job entailed, having done the basic stuff in high school. It took him a little while, but eventually he worked his way to be on the same position as Richard and was soon producing the same output and quality as Richard. Naturally, Richard began to take credit for more and more of my brother's work. Ours eventually got too involved after a complication between the two when numbers presented indicated that my brother had faults in almost all of his work and that Richard had somehow managed to produce much more than the employee average. Going on stating I can do the work of two of us and produce a quality product. My brother should not be here and save you all a lot of money. Naturally, my brother was frustrated. Cameras could not prove that either were at fault for producing faulty products. Brother got a verbal warning and both left. My brother went and spoke to the site manager about this issue. Big surprise to those who were not either know, but they were good friends through school. They both talked, and the revenge was soon planned. After the manager went 2 hours and checked statements made from Richard, they impacted the revenge. Being near the Christmas break, orders were low, so if faulty products were made they could easily be remade and not affect the schedule. Perfect time to act. My brother had time off built up with the company, so he used it. The site manager then went up to Richard, informing him that my brother will no longer be working with him. Richard's slight smile apparently turned to a look of disgust when the manager informed him that he would be working at the station by himself and that he could not let their acquired numbers drop. That did not sit well with Richard, and they both went 2 hours. Richard was yelling that it was unfair and unprofessional that he had to work alone and yet had to do so much work. Then the manager brought out a file containing various statements about how he was good at his job and how effective he was. Apparently the manager's response was, "You said you could do it, and if it does save us money, then would you not think you would get some financial benefit out of it too?" Richard took that bait of extra income and left in a huff. Needless to say, over the next 2 days the numbers were not met, even with the majority of products were deemed faulty and could not be used. This time the manager called a meeting with higher ups, Bowers and Richard. Richard tried to defend his actions, but with all his statements and the recent evidence of his skill level he was let go. Brother came back to work, new guy replacing Richard, and eventually the quantity and quality of products were back to the required levels. Like the manager here said, Richard would not have to work with him anymore. If you're going to talk a big game, Richard, be sure you can play it. Thank you all for watching to the end of the video. But before you go, please like and subscribe for more. Not many of you at all that watch are subscribed or like the video, and this makes me unsure if I should continue to make more content or not. So if you want more content, please like and subscribe. If you don't want to miss out on any future videos, click the bell icon next to the subscribe button. Also, please give me some feedback in the comment section about what I can do better, because not many people comment on my videos, so I have no idea of people's opinions of thoughts about this YouTube channel. So yeah, that's all from me. If you have subscribed and liked the video, please consider sharing the video with your friends. Thanks and bye. I'm still doing daily uploads, so hope to see you in tomorrow's video. Bye.